Right, I got into Warhammer about 20 years ago. Um, and yeah, I'm into it in such a big way now. It's a huge part of my life. And I didn't think I would be getting back into it. When I started, I was really only doing dioramas, things like that, kit bashing, painting, building. I wasn't playing or anything like that at all. It just didn't seem to interest me. I just liked collecting the models. The models were pretty epic, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. So yeah, how did I'm just trying to think how it was my friend. That was it. It was my friend in college, Mark. He was doing it. So we were over there for our college studies. I was apprentice plumber. He was apprentice electrician, and he was, he was collecting these models, and I was like, what's all this about? And he'd be in his room painting and whatnot, and I couldn't fathom out what he was doing. And then he showed me one night and said, "Oh, this is the hobby Warhammer." And I was fascinated by it. I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool," because I used to do a lot of Airfix models when I was younger, so I quite enjoyed it. So I was what? Oh, let me think now. 1920, something like that. It was when I was at college. So yeah, I was enjoying what he was doing, and I was like, "Oh, this is really interesting." He was into chaos models and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, so it was really cool. It was interesting. I went into a few Warhammer shops and things like that. I never bought anything, never really actually pushed myself to buy anything at the time. Yes, I come back, college finished. He sort of carried on a bit, just building and painting. He wasn't really playing at all. And then he sort of just give up with it as well as his hobby. And yeah, I just sort of managed to find some in a local shop here who it wasn't like a Warhammer shop or anything like that. They had the GW license, and there was a chap, Phil Middleton, and he had set it up purely because he had his philatelic bureau type thing going. It's not a bureau, but it was selling stamps and collections and all those things, that you can make money off collectors and things like that. So he had all this collectible items, and his son was into Warhammer building, and he was playing it and whatever. And so Phil thought, right, this is really cool. I'll keep him interested in the hobby. So he got the GW license, and he didn't have a lot of stuff in, just get drips and drabs in and stuff like that. Had Old World and Warhammer 40k. So obviously there's no Age of Sigmar then, or 30k back then. So I just happened to be in there one day. I can't even remember why or whatever, or if I was looking for Warhammer. I have no idea what I was doing in there. Anyhow, I popped in, and that's when I noticed he had the Warhammer, and it just brought back memories of seeing Mark playing it and building and painting it. And I thought, oh, let's have a look at this stuff. And then I just picked up the Tau. He had the Tau box set, the old one with the battle suits on the front in the vomit brown color. That was the name of the Citadel paint. And yeah, and it just sort of gripped me, and I was like, oh, quite like the look of Tau. And everyone was like, oh. Everyone watching this now is going to be like, oh, bloody Tau player. Still don't understand why everyone hates Tau. There's some really cool models. Because for me, it was all about their whole, like the giant mech robots crossed with Japanese type sort of look, if you know what I mean. So yeah, Gundam suits and all that kind of stuff. So, and that really appealed to me. So I picked that up, and I think I picked up some dwarfs as well, because I really like my dwarfs, just in anything like Lord of the Rings and whatever. And I've always liked the dwarfs, and I play them heavily in Warhammer Total War. So picked them up. They're still the little metal models. They're still in my collection. Never even painted, built them, or whatever. They just sat there because I got so fascinated with the Tau and 40k that I just started building them, and then just over the years, really, I just started collecting from other people locally. I hadn't really been ordering any in a big way or anything like that. I just was collecting drips and drabs off people, going to the shop and grabbing what I could, and I was just making dioramas from items. And then obviously the White Dwarf magazine was in Phil's shop, so I would grab the old magazines and start reading through it, and got even more sort of into the fascination of the Tau army. There was also one White Dwarf magazine as well that had the Dark Angels in it, and I got really interested in Dark Angels as well, but I didn't actually collect any, but because I was so focused on the Tau at the time. But I never played. I just collected them, built the models, and that was great. So yeah, done that for a while, and then I started reading up a bit on the lore and things like that and whatever. And then had kids, so hobby stopped. Put it all to the back burner, and that was it. For 20 odd years, I just put it in the loft. I had boxes of stuff, all sorts of stuff. I've still got loads of it, from when I first collected. So yeah, put it in the loft and didn't think anything of it. Left it at that, and then I was invited out to my friend's farm edit camp, which is the countryside, if you're not from the Falkland Islands. So it's so I went out to camp, and he had the Horus Heresy collection, the book collection. I just, you're into Warhammer? That's really cool. So I've got some stuff I had collected, years ago. It's up in the loft. So we obviously started talking about it, and he was doing his own like storylines and things like that. He's really good at it, and drawings and whatever. And he was starting to talk about, what his faction was, which was the Imperial Fists. And then I just picked up one of the books, obviously the starting one, and just started reading Horus Heresy, and got hooked immediately. And I was just like, I remember the 40k, and obviously the 30k was sort of new to me now, because I hadn't really touched. It was just 40k I was looking at and whatever. So then I thought, this is fantastic. So I started reading them, and then he got me onto the Audibles, and my miss was like, yeah, go on to Audibles, it's so much easier, because I just find reading, I can read and write, obviously, but I just don't seem to take it in, or I just don't see the point of sitting there reading a book when I could be doing something else. I'm very practical with my hands. So I got the Audibles and started going through them. Every time I'd be modelling or painting or whatever I was doing, I'd have the book on, driving along the road, put the book on. So I really got into it in a big way, and the lore in 30k, and it just sort of blossomed from there, basically. And we started a club up, myself and him, and we went from there. But then we had our differences of opinion of which way we wanted to go, how we wanted to do it, and that's fine. Everybody has their own ways of doing things. So he went off and done his thing, and I set up the Inner Nerd. And the whole idea behind the Inner Nerd was, it's everybody has a little bit of nerd in them. It is what it is. For whatever it is you collect, you might collect, I don't know, shoes or bags or magazines or military stuff and items. And I collect little men and paint them and stuff, So so as you all know, 40k, very expensive hobby, and I just got addicted to it and just loved it, and I collect and collect and collect. So and it all started really, like I say, with Tau and Farsight, but he didn't come along. So there's the newish one that we've got, which I think is a fantastic model of Farsight. I've also got the other smaller ones. I've got two of the older versions, which are packed away because I'm building my bookshelf to display them all. So this chap here, when I started getting back into it after reading the Horus Heresy and things like that, I thought, right, I'll get my collection back out. And of course the Tau were there. And I started reading Tau in a big way. I got the Codex. I got all the lore behind them, and I started finding out about Farsight, what he was doing, and I just went, this guy's really cool. I loved his enclave. I loved the 8. So I created the 8 and all their battle suits. It was fantastic. And then another chap come down, Thomas, who obviously knows the chap I was on the farm with, and I asked him about, I've never played. It would be really interesting to get to play it. So he said, yeah, no worries. I can set up a quick demo with you. So we only got a few models out. And he just showed me, what the command phase was. This is in 9th edition, by the way. So he showed me what the command phase was, the movement, the shooting, what all the dice rolls meant, weapon skill, ballistic skill, all that sort of stuff. So you hit with all this information, you're thinking, bloody hell, because that's kind of what put me off, because I've got one of the 3rd edition books, I think, core rule books. And it just, like, reading it, you're just like, oh, and as I said, I don't like reading. So, Games Workshop, put all your core rules and stuff into an Audible book. I'll be on it. So yeah, he got me into it, stratagems, all that sort of stuff, and then we started playing 500 points. Then 500 went to 1,000, then 1,000 to 2,000, and it was great fun. I just absolutely fell in love with it, and then I just went like, this is brilliant. This is something I really enjoy. I'm really passionate about now, I've grown in a big way, and created the Inner Nerd Club. Which we get like-minded people coming down now once a week on Sundays usually in the community school. It's our local school in the DT room there, and we set up, we battle, we play crusades, we play match play, tournaments and all that sort of stuff. So and I've just got my own sort of branding underway. I had the YouTube channel, didn't really like the way it was going, so refreshed it after Jack from Barnyard Wargaming came down to do a coaching visit with us, because I want to send a team to the WTC, Falklands team, first Falkland Islands team I'd like to send away. So that's what we're working on. And then obviously 11th has come along, so we've put a hold on playing tournament play stuff until 11th officially comes out, so that we can fully understand that and get to grips with it. So we're just having fun games of Crusade and whatnot at the moment. So after 9th edition, moving into 10th, I moved to the World Eaters, because these boys, as much as I love Farsight and the lore and all that sort of stuff behind them, in 10th edition they killed the 8 because of the way the loadouts were for the battle suits. I couldn't run my battle suits anymore, and I thought, oh my god, I don't want to have to build and build more battle suits. I was like, oh, for God's sake, really? And they did look kick-ass and cool and all that sort of stuff. But, oddly enough, these boys, the World Eaters, and Khan, who I'd read about in 30k, and started to resonate with me immensely. Fell in love with the faction. Originally did not like Angron, from what I'd been hearing in other books and from other people and things like that. Wasn't too keen on him, but Khan was a legendary character to me, and his fall from grace, I felt, was sad as well, and his friendship with Tau and all that sort of stuff. If you read the 30k books, and I want to collect his model too. It's really cool. I started collecting the Worldies, which is funny because I did have some Zerks, so the old flat models. Was a thing. I've still got some of them from the 90s. So rather than, I need to buy more battle suits, blah, blah, I went and bought World Eaters from scratch. So, but I'm glad I did, because they resonate with me way more than the Tau do, and I just went from full gun shooting to smash face, and I just preferred it, because when I was using the Tau, I felt like the 8 needed more melee and more punching, and I just wasn't getting that. And then with the World Eaters come along, and it was just like, oh, fantastic, this is more me, this is how I am. And I'm going to do a video on why you pick your army, and why I picked the World Eaters in the end, and why they're obviously my favorite faction, and the persona behind it. So I managed to get hold of Daddy Angron, and absolutely amazing model. And once I read his lore, official Primarch book, and followed some more lore on him, I actually realized, yeah, he's a really good character. And if you read the 30k books, then you know that, yeah, he gets shit on from a great height by Daddy Emperor. So I really enjoyed his books and stuff like that. So yeah, well, nearly broken there, hitting the light. And I painted him. I followed a tutorial online to make sure I got him correctly painted. So yeah, that is it. That's where I come into the world of Warhammer now, and the inner nerd, and everything I'm doing, the club, the Falkland Islands, this hobby space. So I'm going to have more videos to come. So do check out the one on the World Eaters. That will be going up tomorrow, hopefully, and the next day or whatever it is. I don't know where we are, time frame. Anyway, that video, check it out. And do comment on this one and let me know how you got into Warhammer. Did Space Marine 2 get you into Warhammer? And because of COVID, did you think, oh, I need to get back into building and painting and playing? Was you like me and had kids and now they're all grown up and you're like, oh, got more time, things like that? Let me know. I would really like to know how you got into Warhammer from the get-go. Did you leave it? Did you come back? All that sort of stuff. Or are you just getting into it now, and why are you getting into it? So that'd be really cool. And yeah, so thank you, nerdlings, and thank you for listening to my video. If you did like this video, click the like button. Really helps me out. If you want to subscribe, crack on. Don't have to. You might think, fat, grey-haired boy, old chap in the I'm not a boy anymore. Grey-haired old chap in the Falkland Islands. Why do I want to follow him? But hey, it would mean a lot to me. Yeah, so please like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff. That would be fantastic. And check me out in the next video.